Good morning, students. Again, I'm welcoming you to the course DMM2 and lecture 5. And coming to today's class, we are going to discuss the various terms used in hydrodynamic bearings. So, as per our syllabus, we can stick to the only hydrodynamic journal bearings, not hydrostatic. So, please remember that we are going to design hydrodynamic journal bearing, that is a sliding contact bearing which can operate under thick film lubricant subjected to radial type of load, that is a hydrodynamic journal bearing, and the variation of coefficient of friction with respect to the various working parameters. Clear? Next, first come to the terms used in hydrodynamic journal bearing. So you can observe the diagram here, that is a 2D line diagram is given. So the inner circle represents, so this is the inner circle. So that represents the diameter of the journal. So that is denoted by small d. So here you can observe. So this is small d is the diameter of journal. So that is a small d represented by small d, and the outer circle represents so the bearing. So the bearing diameter is denoted by capital D. So that is capital D and small d. Clear? So capital D is diameter of bearing and small d is diameter of journal. So as I stated that, so journal is a shaft which will lie under the bearing. So that is whatever the part of the shaft that will comes under the region of bearing, we call it as journal. So please remember that in our designs also we are represented only with the journal, so not with the shaft. So in some of the cases they can give shaft, and most of the cases we use journal. So journal referred as shaft. Clear? So that is a part of the shaft under the bearing. So capital D is diameter of bearing and small d is diameter of journal that inside the bearing. Clear? And coming to the center, that is here we are having the circle. So that is the diameter of the journal. For the diameter of the journal, so this O represents the center of the. So we are not given. So O is the center of the journal, and O dash. So here it is another center, that is O dash represents the center of bearing. So here the both O dash and O, so can passing, if you can draw the line here. So that is a line of centers. That is by aligning the coinciding of the centers of bearing and the journal. So that is O and O dash. You can draw a line. So that represents that we call it as a line of centers. Clear? So and then so W. So that load, the shaft is subjected to the radial load, that is denoted by W. So that is what W is a load acting on the bearing. And another few terms will be there. So here, so N is the speed of the journal, that is the rotating speed, N, you can denote with. And Z is the absolute viscosity of the lubricant. We studied in fluid mechanics. So we have two different viscosities. One is absolute viscosity and kinematic viscosity. Here we consider only the absolute viscosity of the lubricant, kg per meter second. Clear? And mu is the coefficient of friction. So here whatever the friction that present between that, you can denote with mu is the coefficient of friction, and P is the bearing pressure between the two surfaces. That is the bearing pressure is given. So how do we calculate the bearing pressure P? So that is the load acting on the journal to the projected area of the bearing. So that is what bearing pressure on the projected bearing area. That is L into D. So what is L means? So that is length of the bearing that you can observe in the side view. It may be in this fashion. So this is the shaft and this is the portion of the bearing. So it is only up to this section. This part of the shaft we call it as journal, and here this will represent the length L. So here the portion of the shaft that lie under the bearing we call it as the journal. So this is the portion it is. So this is the bearing surface up to this extent, and these we call it as taken as length L, length of the bearing, that is denoted by small l. And coming to the diagram again, so we can observe so the diameter of the journal is always smaller than the diameter of the bearing, that is capital D is greater compared to the small d. So here, so due to the difference of the diameters, so what is the need to differentiate the diameters of bearing and journal is to provide the clearance. So here, so you can observe this is the space is required, or this is a space provided by the differentiating the diameters of the journal and the bearing. so that the clearance is provided. So in this clearance we are going to introduce an lubricating oil. So it is a clearance for lubricating oil. We require a thick film between the surfaces, so that we require a clearance. So that is the reason we can provide a difference of diameters for journal and bearing. Clear? That is capital D is larger compared to the small d. That is diameter of journal is a smaller compared to the diameter of the bearing. Clear? So that is what capital D is always greater than the diameter of journal. So that is what provides the clearance, and these diametral clearance is denoted by small c. So small c is the diameter clearance, and it is given by difference of diameters of journal and bearing. Capital D minus small d, that gives a diameter of, that is a clearance, diametral clearance. So we can also write a radial clearance, that is denoted by C1. So radial clearance is given by capital R minus small r. So where capital R is the radius of bearing and small r is the radius of journal. So here indicate, so capital R is denoted and as well as small r. So that will represent a radial clearance. So that this is a radial clearance. So if it is a diameter clearance, means we can take a clearance on both sides, that we call it as diameter clearance, that is given by capital D minus small d. Clear? So these are the terms we need to remember. So these terms we can also use for the design of journal bearing. So please remember that W is the load acting on. So load can be represented with either W or F. So in most of the cases we go with W, so that you can remember W is the load acting on the bearing and mu is the coefficient of friction of the bearing. So again Z is absolute viscosity. We are not considering any kinematic viscosity. We are taking only absolute viscosity. And N is the speed of the journal, that is the rotating speed of the journal. And then capital D is the diameter of the bearing, that is larger compared to the diameter of the journal, small d. And L is the length of the journal, length of the bearing. And C is the diameter clearance of C, that is the difference between the diameters. If you take a difference between the radiuses, so you can take this as C1, that is C1 equal to capital R minus small r. And coming to the case, here we are having a difference of displacement of centers, that is O is the center for journal and O dash is the center for the bearing. So there is an eccentric distance will be there. So that is denoted by small e. So that we call it as eccentricity. And under the full load condition that forms a thick film, so there is a gap will be provided. So that is the thickness of lubricant. So whatever the gap is, you can observe here, that is the clearance we can observe under the full load condition along the line of centers. So there you can provide that is observed. So that is oil film thickness as minimum. So you can observe the oil film is there throughout the circumferential, but there is along under load conditions along the line of actions you can observe the oil film thickness as minimum, and that is denoted by H0. That is what we call it as minimum oil film thickness. Clear? So that is main terms you need to remember, and let us go into that. So first one is diameter clearance. As we stated in the earlier, diameter clearance is C. That is the difference between the diameters. That is D minus D. So and there is one more term that is very much required in the design is a diametral clearance ratio. So it is a ratio given by the diameter clearance to the diameter of journal, that is a capital D by small d by small c by capital D. That is the difference of diameter of journals, that is capital D minus small d, to the diameter of journal, that is C by D. So here it is. So it is a ratio, diametral clearance ratio. So we need to take diametral clearance ratio, so that it is a ratio of diametral clearance to the diameter of the journal, that is C by D ratio we call it as. So based upon that we need to take various bearing pressures and bearing applications and in the design procedure. And coming to the eccentricity, as I stated that it is a radial distance between the displaced centers of center of the journal O and the center of the bearing O dash. So you can see here it is a radial distance between the center O and the center O dash under the load, full load condition, and it is denoted by small e. So that we already discussed in the diagram, illustrated in the diagram. And again the minimum oil film thickness. So it is the minimum thickness of oil film that observed along the line of action. So it is a minimum distance between the bearing and surface. Clear? Under the complete lubrication condition. Clear? And it is denoted by H0, and these can be taken as a C by 4. So H0 can be taken as C by 4. So it is denoted by small e, and this can be denoted by H0, and it is given by C by 4. Clear? So one is the diameter clearance ratio, C by D. So C is known, so the diameter clearance, difference of diameters, capital D to small d. So C by D is the diameter clearance ratio, C by D. And another one is eccentricity, that is the radial distance between the displaced centers of journal and bearing, that is O and O dash. And another one is minimum oil film thickness, that is the thickness of oil film under full, that is a complete lubrication condition, and denoted by H0, and it is given or calculated by C by 4, that is 1/4 of diameter clearance. And next one is you can also see another term, that is eccentricity ratio. So it is given by ratio of eccentricity to the radial clearance. So as I stated, the small e is eccentricity, so that is a small e, that is distance, radial distance of small, that is O to O dash, and C1. So as I written that, so C1 is capital R minus small r. So that is ratio, that is eccentricity, that is given denoted by epsilon. So small e by C1. So eccentricity to the radial clearance. So that can be written as the eccentricity can be written as C1 minus H0, and C1 can be written as C1, and this can be given by 1 minus H0 by C1. So what is the H0? That is minimum oil film thickness, and C1 is a radial clearance. So C1 can be written as 2C. So clear? So that the C by 2 can be written as 1 minus 2H0 by C. Finally, this eccentricity ratio can be calculated by 1 minus 2H0 by C. So that is what eccentricity ratio or attitude, we call it as denoted by epsilon, and it is given by the ratio of eccentricity to the radial clearance, 1 minus 2H0 by C. And finally, there is one more term we frequently used in the design is short and long bearings. So clear, what is short bearings and what is long bearings? That depends upon the L by D ratio. So what is L? So L is the length of the bearing, we have written earlier. So D is the diameter of journal, small d. So if this ratio is greater than 1, so L by D ratio is greater than 1, which means length is 50 and so that is L by D ratio. So here you can see that. So that is L by D ratio is greater than 1, we call it as long bearings. If this L by D ratio is less than 1, we call it as short bearings. So, and if the case, if the L by D ratio is equal to 1, we call it as square bearings. Based upon the L by D ratios, we need to take pressure ranges. So, you can also remember what is the long bearing and what is short bearing. Please remember that L by D ratio is less than 1, short bearing, greater than 1, it is long bearing. If it is equal, we call it as square bearings. Clear? That is what the various terms used in bearings. So again, I am stating that, giving that, so that is the diameter clearance ratio we are frequently used, and then the minimum oil film thickness, and then eccentricity ratio, and the short and long film, and what is eccentricity. And next, coming to the coefficient of effect of coefficient of friction. So here the coefficient of friction between the two surfaces, that is a bearing surface, and so here so between the surfaces of the bearing we are providing a lubricant. So there is always a friction will be there. So even it is a viscous friction or metal friction when it is operating under boundary lubrication, that is thin film condition. So these coefficient of friction may varies. So that is a coefficient of friction which will be a factor that will indicates the amount of power is going to be wasted. If it is a friction is present, that will directly indicate that the power is required to take away, that is to overcome that amount of friction. So whenever the friction is greater, the power loss is also greater. So here, so the friction, that is the amount of friction, can be is a function of different working parameters that we have stated earlier. So that can be defined, that can be determined by means of experiment, that is a Mackay's test results, that is given by Mackay or Mackay brothers. They given this coefficient of friction is a function of 3 different working parameters, that is so mainly this Zn by B. So this is one of the function, and another one is a reversal of diameter clearance ratio, that is d by c, and another one is L by d ratio. So this coefficient of friction is mainly depends upon, is a function of these three variables. So that it can be obtained from the test results of Mekkes brothers that conducted between the different load conditions, and they plotted a graph. And out of these three working parameters, so one of the major working parameters that affects the coefficient of friction, that is this Zn by P. So what is Z is already known, that is absolute viscosity of the lubricant, and then is the operating speed, and then P is the bearing pressure of at the projected area. So this Zn by P, we can also call it as so bearing characteristic number. So shortly, so in majority of the cases, we can also write as a BCN. So that is a bearing characteristic number, which is a very much significant for this is required for this number, which is a significant number to determine the amount of friction between the two surfaces. So and there is a two parameters will also be there, that is a d by c and L by d. Clear? So let us see. So what is Zn by P? How the Zn by P will affect the coefficient of friction? So here the factor Zn by P is termed as bearing characteristic number. So and it is also a dimensionless number. So there is no dimensions for this number. It is a dimensionless number. And these variation of coefficient of friction can be plotted in the graph that is obtained from the results of the Mekkes brothers. So how this graph is look like? So let us see the graph. So that is provided by the Mekkes test results. So this is how this graph is look like, and this curve may also called as the Streiber curve. So if you observe clearly, so this is the initial condition of the bearing. So there is no operating speed is there. There is no speed will be present. So there is not rotating, which is a constant one. So at the initial stage, the bearing is, you can imagine the three diagrams. So we are illustrated in the hydrodynamic lubrication. While I am explaining, I stated three diagrams. So one is at rest condition, at the slow speed condition, and normal speed condition. So in the similar fashion, you can so when the bearing at rest condition, so there is direct metal to metal contact will be there. That is at initial stage. So which means they will be available of a greater friction. Why? Because there is a direct metal to metal contact will be there. So the greater friction is we are having at the initial stage, that is at rest condition. Whenever the bearing is going to start, so which means it can form a thin layer of lubricant. So you can observe here. So there is direct metal to metal contact up to this region of bearing. So here they illustrated with the diagram. So there is a direct metal to metal contact, you can observe, so that there is a starting friction is very much higher at the initial stage, that we call it as starting friction. So which is very much great. So I'm coming to the slow speed. If the increasing of the speed, so which forms the journalist tends to slides upon the surface, that forms some inclination, ability to form the inclination, so that thin layer of lubricant can be formed here in the up to this region, and this region the layer of lubricant is a thin film, and we also call it as a mixed lubrication can be possible. There is a layer of lubricant will be there, but there is a partial metal to metal contact is possible, and the type of lubrication we call it as a boundary lubrication or mixed lubrication we call it as up to this extent, so that the starting friction is going to decrease, so up to this extent. So that is up to that extent of, but we don't desire these conditions. Why? Because the bearing is operating in boundary condition. So which means a thin layer of lubricant is only present. Clear? So thin layer means there is a partial metal to metal contact. But what is the designer has to think? The bearing should operate. So the desired condition is bearing should operate without any direct metal to metal contact, that is in thick film lubrication only. That is thick layer of lubricant should be present. So but here up to this condition, so the bearing is operating in thin film, that is a boundary lubrication or mixed lubrication we call it as. So even there is a presence of lubricant, but it is a thin film, so it is not sufficient to carry the load. So after that, with the increasing of speed from the slow speed condition to the normal speed, it is continued. So there is a case we discussed that the converging zone will be provided, so that the fluid can pass through the convergent zone that increases that builds up the pressure inside the bearing, so that it will form a thick layer of lubricant. So that case the coefficient of friction may gradually increases to up to some extent. This is the Stryber curve or Mecker's test results curve. They mentioned so the coefficient of friction may affect with respect to the various working parameters like Zn by P. That is what we call it as bearing characteristic number. Clear? So with respect to the change in any of the working parameters, so that will affect the coefficient of friction. So here in this region, so we can observe the thick layer of lubricant is provided so that the bearing is operating in hydrodynamic lubrication condition. So the desired working operation of the bearing should be from this region to this region. This is the only the region the bearing should operate without having any metal friction. The only the friction that available at this case or at this region is only a viscous friction due to the viscosity of the lubricant. Clear? This is the curve given by the Stryber. That is at the initial stage, the bearing at rest condition, direct metal to metal contact will be there so that there is a greater friction is available. So at this stage, and then the thick layer of lubricant, that is a mixed lubrication, but there is a partial metal to metal contact will be there so that the friction is going to decrease due to the application of the lubricant will be there. So it is friction is going to decrease. But this area of region we are not suggesting for the operation of the bearing. So and beyond this point, so it can form a thick layer of lubricant so that there is no direct metal to metal contact, so that there is no metal friction will be available, only the viscous friction is there. So the desired condition of a bearing to operate is in this region, that is from this point to this point. So how these characteristics can vary? So in this region the bearing can operate in thick film condition, that is hydrodynamic lubrication. Clear? Now let us come to the bearing the characteristic number, how it can, so this is a theoretical curve. So Stryber curve, it is again in the previous also it is a Stryber curve, but it is given in theoretical fashion. Clear? So both the curves are same, don't confuse with it. So it is on y-axis it is a coefficient of friction mu. So on z-axis that is bearing characteristic number Zn by P. So initially, so there is a starting. At the starting of the journal, so it is a rest condition, the friction is very much higher, and coming to the case that is from S to P, which is starts with some slow rotation of journal, which will forms a thin film, so that the friction is going to decreases gradually, and then it can operate with some in the mixed condition, that is the transition stage from a thick film to the thin film to the thick film, so that is R2S, R2Q can indicate. And then beyond that, so this region, beyond this region, it can go above the region that is called a stable region, that is thick film region. So in this case, there is a partial lubrication will be available, and in this case, it is a thin film or boundary lubrication is there. Clear? So this is a Stryber curve, that is a Mecker's curve. So in this case, I can observe clearly. So with the stable point at the point of stability, the bearing is operating. The desired condition of operating region is only P to PQ. That is up to this region, the bearing should operate in a stable thick film lubrication region. You can take in a design point, you can take a point of stability on the curve, any of the region of the curve. So in this case, I can taking these as a Zn by P value. So it is operating with a point of stability. So that if the continuous rotation of the journal will tends to increase the heat, that is the temperature is going to raise. So for the continuous operating condition, there is a chance of raising in temperature. So whenever the temperature is going to raise, so what will happen? So whenever the temperature increases, what effect that affects the Zn by P or not? So if the temperature rises, the Z is a viscosity. There is a relation between the temperature and viscosity. If the temperature rises, the viscosity of the lubricant is going to decrease. So with respect to the decrease of viscosity, the Zn by P, that is a bearing characteristic number, should also decrease, so that the curve stating that the point, so from the point I can take it as some x point. So from these, so with decrease of Zn by P, so this point can also comes to this region of x dash, so that you can observe. So this is the coefficient of friction in the previous case. So but with the decrease of viscosity, with the increase of temperature, the journal is continuously operating, the bearing is continuously operating, the temperature is raises, so that the viscosity is going to decrease, resulting in lowering in bearing characteristic number. So that will reduce the, so coming to this x dash, so that you can observe this is the value of coefficient of friction now. So that, so with the decrease of coefficient of friction, so the decrease of bearing characteristic number, so this coefficient of friction may also decreases. So whenever the friction, the value of friction is decreases, so that the heat generated is going to decrease, obviously. So there is no, if it is a friction is greater, the temperature generated is greater, the heat generated is greater. So here the friction is decreases, so that the heat generated is also decreases. Again, temperature is going to normal condition, that is the decreases. So again viscosity is rises. So with the rise in viscosity, so again Zn by P will come from this stage to again this position. So which means from x dash to x. Clear? So the bearing is continuously operating, temperature is increases, viscosity decreases, Zn by P decreases. So that it can operating point from here x to x dash, so that resulting in decrease in viscosity. With the decrease in viscosity, temperature is going to decrease. So again viscosity is increases. So that Zn by P value is also increases. So that it can come from x dash to x. So that if you observe clearly, these bearing may have a self-adjusting mechanism, so that it can operate between the two operating points. So not at the single point. So that is the reason. So that is the reason. So if suppose that the bearing is operating at point P, point Q. So as it have the self-adjusting mechanism, so this is only the region that should require, the desirable region of the bearing should operate that between the P to Q, that is the stable region. So whenever if you are going to operate the bearing at point Q, so what will happen immediately? So with increase in temperature, Zn by P value is going to decrease, so that the bearing will fall under the mixed region, or it may go below this thin film region, so which is not desired any bearing condition. So that the bearing should always operate in these stable region in the thick film, that is P to Q. So that is not only the point of factor that affects the Zn by P. If the speed increases, so the value of Zn by P increases. If the pressure decreases, Zn by P increases. With the effect of any of the values of Z, that is viscosity, absolute viscosity of the lubricant, or the speed of the journal, or the pressure, that is operating pressure of the bearing may varies, that affects the Zn by P value, that will decide whether the bearing is operating in thick film or thin film. Clear? So this is what we call it as bearing characteristic number, which is very much important. So the value of bearing characteristic number, if it is greater than the value of this value, this is at point A. So beyond that value, the bearing can operating in the thick film. So below this region, that is operating in thin film. So but is in between there is a region we call it as a mixed region, that is a partial lubrication will be takes place, which is also not desired. So but here if you observe the minimum value of bearing characteristic number, so here the curve will be declined up to this extent. From this the curve is going to increases. So here at the minimum value of, that is minimum value of bearing characteristic number at the curve, that is at point A. So this is the value of Zn by P. So the value of Zn by P at the minimum value of coefficient of friction. So this is where we can obtain a minimum coefficient of friction. So we know that the bearing should have the minimum friction. So that if you operate at point A, so due to the self-adjusting mechanism, the bearing can directly go into the region of thin film, so which is not desired. So that so at the minimum value of friction, the value of bearing characteristic number is called bearing modulus. So here is called bearing modulus. What is it? What is bearing modulus? The minimum, that is the value of bearing characteristic number Zn by P at the minimum value of friction. So at this point we call it as, that is the bearing modulus, and it is denoted by capital K. Clear? So in order to operate the bearing always in the thick film condition, so without coming into the thin film region, so these value of bearing modulus should kept 3 to 5 times. So Zn by P should be kept 3 to 5 times of K. So that so K, what is the K value? So that is at point A. So this is where the value of K. So you should not operate the bearing at point K. So why? Because it is having the self-adjusting mechanism. The bearing can go at any point. It will go into the region of thin film. So that we should not keep the K as a minimum. So the bearing characteristic number should kept 3 to 5 times. That is beyond this region. So as we are similar to that of how the factor of safety we are providing, in a similar fashion we can provide 3 to 5 times of bearing modulus, so that from here to the point Q. So that if you operate at point Q, so if it is a chance it can goes below these regions, so it can operate in the mixed condition, that is a partial lubrication, not into the thin film region. So that so the bearing should operate between the P to Q region. Clear? This is what the Mekies test results can stated. So what is Zn by P is the bearing characteristic number that will affect the coefficient of friction in the bearing. So in any of the parameter that will changes in this working bearing characteristic number, either viscosity, either speed or pressure, that will affect the bearing characteristic number, resulting in the variation of coefficient of friction between the two surfaces. And you can also observe it should have the self-adjusting mechanism by the between the two operating points, so that you should keep the minimum bearing characteristic number, and it is called as bearing modulus denoted by K, and it should kept bearing characteristic number as 3 to 5 times of bearing modulus. Clear? In today's class, so far we discussed what are the various terms used in hydrodynamic bearings. So these terms are very much important. So we need to remember all of the terms. So capital D, so diameter of bearing, and small d diameter of journal, and Z is absolute viscosity, and W is the load acting on the bearing, and P is the bearing pressure, and L is the length of bearing, and C is the diametral clearance. So and we can also see that the diameter clearance ratio is the ratio between diametral clearance to the diameter of journal, and the eccentricity is the radial distance between the O to O dash, that is the centers, displaced centers of journal and bearing. And we see in the eccentricity, that is a ratio of eccentricity to the radial clearance denoted by epsilon. And the long, short and long bearings, that depends upon the L by D ratio. If the L by D ratio is less than 1, we call it as short bearings. Greater than 1, it is long bearings. And L by D ratio is equal to 1, we call it as square bearings. And these terms which very much important to remember. So for the design of bearings, so please remember all the terms. So mu is the coefficient of friction, and next one is a hydro. So that is a bearing characteristic number. So which will be given. So as we stated that the coefficient of friction mu is a function, that is a relationship. We have the function of 3 different working parameters. That is a Zn by P. So that is first one. The 3 factors, that is Zn by P. And the second one is D by C, that is the reversal of clearance ratio, that is diameter clearance ratio, and third one is L by D ratio. So the coefficient of friction is very much depends upon these 3 factors. So out of which, so this Zn by P is having the very much significance for the variation of coefficient of friction, and this Zn by P we call it as bearing characteristic number. So these the effect of coefficient of friction with respect to the Zn by P we discussed using the Streiber curve. So with the simple example, and so as well as the minimum value of bearing characteristic number, we call it as bearing modulus. So where we can obtain the minimum value of friction at that particular point of value of Zn by P, we call it as bearing modulus, and it is denoted by capital K. So for operating the safe operating of bearing in the thick film region, so this bearing characteristic number should kept, that is Zn by P value, bearing characteristic number should kept 3 to 5 times of bearing modulus. Clear? So in next class we can go with a design procedure for journal bearing, and how the design is carried out we are going to see in the next class. Thank you.